Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GL365 Academy. Got a beautiful ballad from Cinderella today. We're going to learn how to do Heartbreak Station. So this has got a lot of things going on in this. Tom Keifer is really loading us up. There's electric guitar in this. There's electric 6-string and 12-string. There's acoustic 6, I don't know if it's electric 12-string, but there's acoustic 6 and 12-string, acoustic slide 6 and 12-string. There's mandolin. There's a lap steel guitar going on. So there's a lot. So we're going to be playing pretty much what Tom Keifer is playing live on the 12-string. And then when we get to the lap steel solo, I don't have a lap steel, never have. And so what I'm going to do is basically you're just going to play like an arrangement of that, not with slide guitar or anything, just kind of on this guy here. It's a 6-string. I'll show you kind of an acoustic arrangement of that solo. But anyway, before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the notification bell and all that good stuff that you do for your favorite YouTubers. Watch the videos, that helps more than anything. You might even have to seek out the videos because YouTube is just not sharing them anymore. So just go to my channel and see what I've released recently and watch them, please. And if you truly want to support what I do here on YouTube, no matter what the algorithm does to me, the best way to do it is join my Guitar Academy, and you'll see a link to that in the description below. You'll get full access. That'll give you a free 7-day trial, and you get full access to the Academy during that trial, so you can check out all my guitar courses. We got courses for all levels of players across many styles that cover many different areas, from technique to improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. So there's even complete beginner course there. So please go check it out, and you can also be able to join me on my Saturday live streams, which is Academy members. So hope to see you there. All right, so let's start with the track here. We are in standard tuning, but of course I have a 12-string, and it's always kind of deceiving to the ear when you hear a string pluck, and it sounds like it's that. You hear two different octaves being played at the same time. So it's a weird thing to transcribe as well. But also, if you're just a listener, if you're on a 6-string and you're following me here, what you play it's going to sound like there's missing notes, because there is. Anyway, so just fair warning there. If you have a 12-string, use that. So we're going to start here. This intro is very cool. All right, so he's going to start this around a G chord. So you just play it around a G power chord, basically, which is a G without the third in it. So all you have to do to play that is the third fret on the low E, open D, open G, third fret there on the B, and then the third fret on the high E string. So the picking is, because it's so deceiving here and where he's playing, a lot of times you just have to watch him do the picking pattern. You can see what strings he's picking. And he's doing that. So he picks basically, he kind of halfway alternate picks it, and then he'll do some double downs here or there. So pick it whatever way is comfortable for you. But he's holding this chord. He's going to pick the 6th string, then the D string, the G string, then back to the D. And then he's going to jump up here and grab the high E string. Say this. And then go back down to that D string. You play that however. And then you're going to keep holding these notes on top, but you're going to crawl up the A string just by going 0, 2, 3. Now from there, you're going to do the same picking pattern pretty much that you did before. Except that first note now, right there, is on the A string. The rest of the picking pattern is the same. From there, we're going to do this. So that's the whole chord. So what I did there, so from this G, you're going to pick the open low E string, then the 3rd fret, and then the 2nd fret on the low E. So it's a little moving bass line. And then you're going to grab a new chord. There's basically this chord. So it's basically basically like a D add 9 with F sharp in the bass, with third in the bass. So it's so that's the second fret there on the low E string, open D, second fret there on the G, third fret on the B, open high E. So the picking pattern there is going to be the the low E string, then D, G, back down to the D. Then go to the high E and just work your way across all the way to the D string. So it is. So far. From here, we're going to do this. I'm sorry. So that's just going to be the third fret on the A string, second fret on the D, and then the open G. So you're going to pick across those three strings. So A, D, G, and then play the second fret on the A, open D, open G. Then you can pick the open A and hammer back on the second fret, and then pick the D. And then you start over. So just 2 times I'm playing that, we get to the verse, which sounds like this. Takes us to that chorus. So we're going to start with that G chord again. Remember, without the third, so that means basically the note on the B, the A string is omitted, just muted. So you're going to pick the low E string and then the open D and then strum the chord. So it's the same chord we were holding earlier. Then instead of going to like that D, like that, so we're actually just going to go down to F sharp in the bass, but we're going to keep those fingers the same up top. So it's basically a G major 7 chord with the F sharp in the bass. So generally you're not going to hear that a lot. That's obviously just a passing chord that he's doing. So when he does that, he has this little thing that he'll do here, which is he picks so it's basically you're still holding the third fret on the high E and the B, right? And you go down to the second fret there on the low E string. You pick that first, then pick the open D string. And then when you strum the chord, you're going to hammer on from the open G string to the second fret and then back without it. On recording, you're also hearing another slide there, like that. So you're hearing multiple guitars there. So Tom, obviously, you can't do both. Get that and then get that live. So he just does this live. But you hear that on recording with like a 6-string guitar. So you can throw that. If you can do that one if you want instead. From there it goes to an E minor 7. So we're basically still holding these notes on the high E string and the B, right? The third fret. But we have an E minor underneath it. So open E, second fret on the A, second fret on the D, open G. So far. From there we're going to go to a D major chord. And then we're going to crawl down that middle moving bass line up into the C major chord. So that's just the open A, second fret on the A, into the C major. Now when you strum the C major, there's a little fill in there, which after you get to the C, you're gonna let off that D string. So you just hit an open D, hammer back on the second fret, and then then hit the open G. You're gonna hear that done a lot on the C major chord and the G major. I'll show you in a second. So we have this. Fill, and then you go to the D major again. Then you go to that G. And here on the G, the fill that we're going to do there is to hit the open A, hammer on the second fret of the A string, so it's basically the fill's one string lower pitch, and then up to the open D. And then back to the D. So all together for that G, the verse so far. Sus4, so it's going to be the third fret on the high E string, back down to the, it's got to pick it across, then back down to the regular D, so I'm just picking across from the high E to the G string each time, so high E, D, G, and then down to the regular D chord, and then the open high E string, so it is. It's got a little ending that leads us into the chorus each time. Now I'm also going to say that whenever you're playing the D chord, there's variations going to be played on that all the time. When he's playing this, when you hear it live, or sometimes you'll hear him play this, and you'll hear him just kind of play it, then hammer the open G to the second fret there. And you'll also hear on the high E string the same thing. That just right in the middle of the verse, or something like that. You're going to hear that all the time. So you might see him use that, or you just kind of keep it straight. There's not kind of a systematic way he does it on the album either. There is when he does the chorus, but for this, you can just kind of... From there, we go to the actual chorus, and the chorus sounds like this. Alright, so that starts off with an A minor. And then you're going to go up to into that C by going 0-2 on the A string again, into the C. And then a little lick, that little fill that we did on the C major, happens in the chorus too. And then straight to that G with that same fill there as well. This fill that we did on the G in the verse. So and then we get to the first D chord in the chorus, and it has a little fill in there. So it kind of sounds like the open D string, and then you're going to pull off from 3-2 on the high E. So it's a sus4 at first, pulls off to the second fret, making it a regular D major. Then pick the third fret there that you're holding on the B string, and then have the open G, hammer on the second fret, and then back down to the open G. So then it goes back to the same chords again, A minor, same fills. Then we went to the D, the second time has a little bit different pattern on it. So that's the open D, and we're gonna have a D sus2 chord this time, which means leave the high E string open. So you're gonna pick the D string, then pick the high E string, then the second fret there on the B, and the second fret on, third fret on the B, second fret on the G. And then go to a regular, pick across a regular D major, so move up to that second fret there on the high E. So we basically had that first ending, then second time through, and then you're going to go to that E minor 7 chord that we did earlier. So let's get the third fret on across the B and the high E string, and then that E minor chord underneath it, and then that we're going to get to a C major chord once again by climbing up the A string 0, 2. When you get to the C, just hold it. And then it goes back through the same intro again, the same verse again, and then pretty much the same chorus, except this chorus here, the second chorus has to lead to the bridge. So at that ending of the second chorus, when we go from E minor to the C, it doesn't pause on the C there, it does this. So it's just basically from here to, sorry, you just keep strumming the C, and then it just goes to a D, and then a D sus4 by adding that third fret there on the high string, and then back down to the D. And then that takes us to the bridge, which is very short, looks like this. Which leads into that lap steel solo. So that starts with a B minor here. So I'm borrowing from the high E string across to the A string. So 5 strings at the second fret. And then in front of that, I'll have the third fret there on the B, the fourth fret there on the G, and the fourth fret there on the D string. From there to that G chord, to the D, and then the A kind of held. It's the A major chord, so just standard A major, just held twice as long as the other chords. And then from there it gets to that lap steel solo, which I'm going to do at the end of the video. I'm going to switch to this guitar. I don't want to do that right in the middle here. We don't have much longer to go to get there. But underneath that lap steel solo is the chords of the chorus. So it goes from the A major chords to the minor to the chorus. So just kind of, that's how it kind of goes into the solo section. After the solo, which I'll take a look at in a second, we go back into the intro again, but there's a very slight difference at the very end of it. So he still repeats that same. He still repeats that twice, but that ending is slightly different because it's not taking us to the verse this time. It's taking us from this intro back into the chorus. So they have to adjust that ending a little bit, and they do the ending. So you play it 2 times coming out of the chorus. The first time is the same way we've always played it. The second time, there's a different little ending that's going to lead us to the chorus, and it's this. So it's just very slight. So it's the same here, and then same here. But now instead of doing this, that little fill, it comes back to this third fret and then hits the open G string. So this leads back into the chorus a little bit better. All right, so there's a slight little difference there. I didn't want you to miss that. And then we have really the last chorus, which is an extended chorus. So it's kind of like we did the chorus that led into the bridge, where the end of that chorus, where it was that B minor 7 to the C. We're gonna keep strumming that and do that D sus4, and back to the D. But this time, instead of going to the bridge like we did before, that's that little ending we had to put on the second chorus. We treat that, that's just like a little thing that we do to turn repeat the chorus again. Same fills. And here we're gonna just at the second repeat at the end of the song, after that E minor 7, then you'll just pause on that C, and then we basically play the intro twice, and it just kind of plays through it twice, and then at the very end, it's going to end on the G chord there. All right, so let me take a look. I'm going to grab this guitar real quick, and then we'll take a look at the kind of an acoustic guitar version, non-slide, no lap steel, no stuff of the solo. Alright, so slightly more subdued because it's not on like an electric lap steel kind of thing. I should have just grabbed my Strat and played it on that. Made it this soaring tone, but too lazy to really kind of get the electric guitar set up going here, so we're just going to do it on acoustic. But it would sound great if you just were in kind of in a cover band and this guitar player comes in and plays something like that, but on like a soaring electric guitar tone. It'd be kind of cool. But anyway, let's start here. So we're going to start in still standard tuning here. We're going to slide into the 9th fret there on the G string, and then go over to the 10th on the B, then slide into that 10 again from the 8 to 10. So, and then you're going to slide back into that 9 on the G, back over to 8 on the B, then back to the 9 on the G, slide down to 7. So it is. And then kind of end this phrase by sliding back to the 9 on the G, then play 8, 7 on the B. So I have this so far. All right, from there we're going to slide from 7 to 9 on the G, back to that 10 on the B, and then so that's going to slide into the 13th fret there on the B, and then go down to 12 on the B, and then 12 on the G, and then again, basically do that again, so it is. And then we're going to take that 12th fret on the B, slide down to 10, and pick that again, and then add the 11 on the G. I want those to ring together there, so with this. From there, we're going to slide into this double stop here at the 12th fret on the G and the B. And then, I'm sorry guys. So after that, sliding into that double stop, you're going to go to 15, slide down to 13 on the B. And then back across those two notes, the B on the 12th fret, and then the 12th fret on the G. And then slide from the 4th fret on the G back to that 12th fret. So all together for the solo. All right, well that is it for Heartbreak Station. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's another beautiful song. Cinderella is one of those bands that they don't really fit too much, obviously in the hair band scene or whatever, because their music really still stands up really well. They have some, Tom just did an amazing job of creating some really great music that kind of, I think, really defied the genre that they were in. They had some cool blues-based stuff, and the more popular, the more hair band stuff, but he kind of melded all that stuff, and obviously it's got an iconic voice. So it's just, this is a really great, another great example of just writing great music that will kind of stand the test of time. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.